Hey guys, Tower Climber here, and I'm bringing you another Tower of God story video that I will be doing ever so often, mostly for my own enjoyment since I like coming up with scripts and stories like that, but overall shouldn't be that much of an occurrence, and I will try my best to do mostly mainline Tower of God content for you all. But I had a lot of fun making my OC and a lot of these characters, so I hope you all like them as well. And the tale of the story is how my OC, Perie Zeke, had to stop his climb prematurely. This story takes place on the 32nd floor of the tower. In this tale, we are following a team that was formed on the 2nd floor. They are climbing the tower and recently participated in the last workshop battle on the 30th floor. Their team name is Team Faith, named that since all their desires for climbing this tower revolve around their faith in some way, shape, or form. The members of this team are Perie Zeke, the team spear bearer and an amazing inventor who has a knack for lighthouses and observers. Being from the Perie family, he thought he was destined to be a light bearer, but got chosen for spear bearing on the floor of test. This troubled him for most of his climb, thinking he would let down his team by being a bad spear bearer, but learned from his high-ranker cousin that if he is not good at being a normal spear bearer, to mix his spear bearing with what he is good at. And so he did and created the teleporting star style, which lets him teleport his spear to always hit his target with lighthouses even if he were to miss them. Next is Fonsicle the Khan, the team's wave controller and part of the Fonsicle branch of the Eurasia family. He has a natural art for manipulating Shinsu, and his Shinsu quality is smoke. He can emit and control it all by himself, but he normally uses a special item his family gave to him, the Goblin Smoke, a special cigar that is a compression weapon with 3 modes, a tiny version that it's normally in. This allows him to enhance his smoke powers, a medium-sized version that lets him control the smoke in wider ranges and light the top of the cigar in green flames that he can shoot out, and the final version that lets him do all the things of the last forms, but also control the smoke to the point where he can create shapes out of it. Next is Charlene. She is the scout of the team and has always been a free spirit, and always seemed to be lost in her own little world that revolves tinkering with things that already exist. She also has a natural gift for controlling observers and can use multiple observers at once, but she is physically weak due to being a child, of course. She gets particularly along with Zeke, since he is the one who creates her observers and she modifies them to her liking. They have formed the big brother and little sister dynamic in the group, and Zeke tries to always protect her, but everyone in the group treats her with care too, of course. Next up is Orson, who is the official team light bearer, and can use up to 3 lighthouses at this point of his climb. He is a more common light bearer, normally staying in the back of fights to support his team. He is also very intelligent and uses the box to gather a lot of information, and due to this he normally is seen as a shut-in, but in reality is a warm and kind guy that just has a bit of social anxiety. The final member of this team is Bellan, the fisherman of the team and chosen to be the leader due to her commanding background. She was a knight in training in the kingdom of the Outer Tower. Her kingdom one day was faced with a great threat, an exploding volcano that erupted near the kingdom, and everyone seemed to accept their fate. But Bellan acted fast and went to an altar in her kingdom to try and pull out a sacred sword out of the middle of a body of water. Even if this blade seemed to be easy to be able to pull out, no one has ever been able to pull it from the lake. At first she struggled to grab it, but then she pleaded for its power to protect her kingdom that she loved. Like it had a mind of its own and was actually able to hear her cries. The sword was pulled out by her, and she was able to use its power as an ignition weapon, named Mirror Moon, to reflect all the destruction away from the kingdom before it was destroyed. Shortly after this amazing feat, she was pulled into the Inter Tower and met the rest of the current team on the 2nd floor. The team pulled along a route that was meant to lead them to the next test on this floor. While they walked, Orson said, "It's a shame we couldn't win the workshop battle. The top prizes seemed amazing." Bellan responded to this, saying, "I mean, yeah, but what can we do? We can't change the past, and the regulars there were really strong. We were lucky to make it to the finals thanks to Bellan carrying us. Bellan, having a small blush appear on her face, states, I merely did the best for the team. But even saying that, I think Zeke contributed just as much as I did, if not more. Zeke, tinkering away at a mini observer, looks up and says, You gotta be kidding me. I did horrible compared to you and Dakon. Charlene, trying to peek at Zeke's new invention, says, No way! Big Bro Zeke was so cool with his teleporting spears. It totally caught everyone off guard. Orson responded to this with, She is right, Zeke. I read on the box yesterday that if more people knew of your teleporting spear, then you could have made it to the top 10 E-rank regulars, like Bellan and Dakon were. Zeke scoffs at Orson and says, If I was on that dumb list, then people would have been able to counter my spears. Plus, that list is not accurate at all. Bellan with the Mirror Moon ignited could have beaten the #1 E-rank in the finals. Bellan chimes in and says, Well, I don't disagree that I could have performed better if I ignited Mirror Moon. He would have most likely still won. He was a great foe indeed. Plus, Zeke, you shouldn't look down on yourself too much. You are a valuable member of this team, and you can pull your weight just as much as I. After a while, Charlene looks up ahead and yells, Look guys, the town! Orson sighs and says, Finally, my legs are killing me. Dakon yawns and says, Can't you just float on your lighthouse, man? But I am happy to see a town. I can finally nap. Bellan says, Come on, team. Let us rest and find the next test tomorrow. The scene changes to a dark room filled with shady-looking individuals. Across the room sits a large, muscular man with jet black hair. He says, So basically, you're willing to pay me top buck to kill a Perie member for your company. Not that I'm declining or anything, but could I ask why? It's a simple trade for my services. The skinny man across from him says, The Perie family got in the way of our company's deal with the workshop to provide material for items. We want to make an example out of one to send a message to those 10 great family punks. And we heard you're the kind of man that can deliver on that. The large man just stands up and says, And what if I were to say I'm one of those 10 great family punks too? The skinnier man has a shocked expression on his face and looks like he already accepted death for what he said. But the large man just starts laughing and says, Man, your face was great. But don't worry, I never got along too well with the families. You pay me and I will carry out my job. But I have to choose who I want to kill. You got any info on the Peries in this town currently? The skinny businessman, now calming down, says, Yes, we know of 2 regulars who are here at the moment. One of them is called Perie Zeke, and his team were the runner-ups in the last workshop battle. The large man, now looking more attentive than before, walks closer to him and gets in his face and says, Tell me more about this kid. Later that day, going into night, the team was able to find an inn to stay in. Dakon already belly flopping into the bed as soon as they arrived, Bellan practicing her sword skills, Orson looking up information on the floor with his lighthouses, and Charlene tinkering away with a mini observer Zeke was making earlier. Zeke gets a message from his pocket that says it's from his cousin. Hey, I'm on the floor currently and need to give you some information on the main family. I sent you the coordinates of where to find me. Zeke, looking over the message for a while, sees that the location is far away from the inn and gets suspicious that something is wrong. He goes to Orson to say, Hey Orson, I need to tell you something. I'm going away for a bit, but I have a bad feeling about it. I want to connect my lighthouse to yours. If anything happens, it will tell you my location, okay? Orson of course agrees, and Zeke heads off. Finally reaching the destination his cousin told him to come to. It was a normal, big-looking building, but it looks like no one has used it in years. Zeke enters the building, and there is no one in sight. The inside being pretty dark, he shines his lighthouse to make a light, and says, Whoever you are, I'm here guessing you're not family, since anything my cousin needed he would have just contacted me directly. Finally, a man comes out of the darkness with glowing red eyes, chuckling and saying, "You knew this was a trap and you still walked into it. I thought you two Paries were supposed to be smart." Zeke looking at the man and thinks, "He looks strong, but it seems like it's just him here. Is he that confident in his skills? You don't seem very bright yourself. You know I can just teleport out of here, right?" The man responds to this by saying, "I wouldn't do that if I were you, Tupari. My direct orders was to kill a Tupari member, and there's another one in this town that seems weaker than you. If you run away, I will just have to go after him. And you care about your family, right? A real pain in the ass you are. But not good at your job, I guess. Why not just go after an easier kill straight away?" The man starts laughing and says, "Oh no, don't get me wrong, this was for my own satisfaction. You see, I made a name for myself for killing members of the 10 great families. I got the heads of almost every single one of them except a Tupari. I wanted the first to feel gratifying." Zeke, hearing enough of this nonsense, says, "I will not go down without a fight. Family killer." And the man scoffs and says, "You think the others didn't? If what this man is saying is true, this won't be easy. But he shouldn't know my spear techniques, since he seems to have chosen me just out of my strength alone. I will freeze him and end this fast with one shot. Lighthouse control skill, reverse flow control." But instead of stopping them, he just keeps charging at him. "You think your flow control can stop me, kid? Let me tell you something you didn't know before. My name is Hendelok Donovan." He swings down to crush Zeke, but he can react fast enough to dodge it, but the ground is destroyed underneath Hendelok Donovan's strike. And after this, his skin starts turning black. He is from the Hendelok family. Crap, this is gonna be hard. Flow control isn't gonna work against his enhanced Shinsu resistance. Zeke, knowing the situation could be dangerous, sent an alert to Orson for reinforcements. Zeke grabs his spear and throws it towards Donovan. But as soon as Hendelok Donovan goes to attack it away, it disappears with the lighthouses and appears behind him to land a solid strike on his back, but not piercing all the way. After clashing for a little bit longer, Zeke is getting more and more damage while Donovan is getting more aggressive and wild. Zeke knows he can't win this fight, so he chooses a gamble to finish it off with a single skill that he's never fully tried on a person before. Zeke jumps into the air and gets his spear ready, charging all the Shinsu he can into it, and fires it off as fast as he can. Donovan smiling and says, "Come on, Tupari! Let's see if your spear can be as strong as my shield of a body." But after he says this, the spear completely misses its mark and starts flying past the large man. He looks disappointed. "Seems like you were a failure at the workshop, and as a spear bearer, brat." Zeke says, "Not quite. Teleporting star style, lethal move, dead on target." The spear teleporting right to Donovan's heart, but right before it hits, a clink sound is heard, and Zeke's spear is stopped by a dark armor that now has appeared on Hendelok Donovan's body. Zeke looking shocked. "That's the blood armor that the winner of the workshop battle got. How do you have it?" "Oh, this? Oh, I got this from a punk that was talking big about his abilities. He was tough, sure, but in the end, he died like everyone else that has faced me." That's the face of despair I wanted to see from you. You thought being the top of E rank meant anything? This tower is bigger than you think, brat. But I guess you won't be able to see the top of it now. In a swift motion, he strikes at Zeke and hits him with a hit to the gut that almost knocks Zeke fully out, and with a small red dagger and slices off Zeke's right eye. "Because now you're dead." As soon as Hendelok Donovan goes for the finishing blow on Zeke, a white smoke cloud appears, blocking Donovan's vision. "What's this?" From the smoke, a blue light emerges, and it's Bellan, that in one motion swings Mirror Moon and says, "Mirror Moon, ignite!" Sending enough force to push back Donovan. Dokkan saying, "Nice one, leader. I'll back you up. Orson, Charlene, take Zeke away from here now." Orson putting Zeke in his lighthouse, and Charlene crying seeing Zeke so bloodied. And with her observers, she gives both of her teammates a Shinsu boost. "You took him out, leader?" "No. He is strong. My ignition merely pushed him back, almost doing no damage." Dokkan, looking more serious, says, "Then we'll just have to go all out then." "Goblin smoke, decompress." A large staff-like cigarette appears in Dokkan's hands. "I will slow him down for you, leader." Bellan nods. From the smoke, Donovan emerges, behind, ready to land a blow on Bellan's head. Dokkan creates wolves from his smoke and says, "Eurasia style, pack hunt restrained." The wolves reaching out to Donovan and halting his movements long enough for Bellan to start attacking with Mirror Moon. But even with the wolves restraining his movements, he can still combat her evenly. After a while, they fall back. "What a monster, huh, leader? Look, I don't think we can win this or escape even with the two of us together. We have to end him here, or he'll just keep coming after us and Zeke on this floor." "Agreed, but I don't see how we can do enough damage to finish him off if my blade can't bring him down." "I think it can, leader. Mirror Moon lets you reflect anything, even the pain from yourself and people around you, to an opponent, right?" "Yes, but I already took the reflected damage he incurred onto Zeke, and that still didn't do the trick." Dokkan says, "Look, charge up Mirror Moon with the damage he does to me. If he can do fatal damage to me, then it should let you beat him in one shot." "I can't let you do that. You would die, Dokkan." "Trust me, I won't, leader." Dokkan starts walking slowly to Donovan, and Donovan says, "Looks like you're from the Eurasia family, huh, brat? Looks like I will kill 2 family members tonight." Dokkan grabs Goblin Smoke and starts to smoke it and says, "No, only the Hendel family is dying tonight," as his body starts transforming with black smoke. He reveals a new form that no one has seen before. Goblin Smoke, Dark Ash Mode. With an amazing boost in speed, he charges and clashes with Donovan evenly for a bit until Donovan slices a chunk off Dokkan's arm. Bet is surprised to see that it reformed back from the smoke, and he keeps charging widely, looking like if he is in a high, and spreading black smoke all around the battlefield. This form, while making him stronger, won't be enough to beat Donovan, and Dokkan knows that, but it will let him live long enough to build up damage in Mirror Moon to reflect in one singular final blow. After a while, Donovan, now using his full power, is just beating Dokkan into the ground over and over again. Now standing over his body, says, "Any last words, kid? You should be long past dead by now anyways." Dokkan chuckles, with blood coming out of his mouth, says, "Sure should. 17 times by now to be in fact. That should be enough, right, leader?" Dokkan, now seeing a massive blue light emerging from the smoke, sees Bellan shedding tears and says, "Yes, Dokkan. Mirror Moon, reflect my comrade's pain onto my foe, and my failure as a leader at once. Ignite!" A blue light appears, and a huge blast from Mirror Moon strikes Donovan directly. He tries to resist, but it's too strong for him, and he gets blown back in a giant flash of blue and violet. During this battle, Orson and Charlene are running back to town, but they are stopped and cornered by a mob of people with needles, and they say, "Put the kid down. He is dying tonight to set an example to those great family scum who dare mess with us." After Orson refuses to hand over Zeke, a battle begins, but both Orson and Charlene, being support-type fighters, start getting overwhelmed. A henchman tries to attack Charlene while Orson is busy blocking 3 others, and in that second, A purple spear shoots out of Orson's lighthouse and stabs the henchman. Zeke, while bloodied and looking like he is at death's door, he says, "My eye is done for. My spear-bearing career is done. But even if tonight is my last day climbing, none of you will lay even a single finger on my comrades." Zeke, pulling out his purple spear, says, "Come and take me yourselves." The henchmen, angry at Zeke for killing one of them, surround him and try to stab him all at once from all sides. But Zeke, ducking down, and says, "To Perie style, spear parade." He speeds up and teleports the spears to go all through the henchmen in different directions, killing them at once. While panting, he says, "I'm on my last knee. Charlene, Orson, help me finish this." With the help of Orson's lighthouse protecting Zeke, and Charlene giving him Shinsu boost with her observers, Zeke goes on a rampage and kills every single one of the henchmen that was sent to kill him. But the end of this bloody night signaled a halt to the climb of Perie Zeke for a long time. With his body and eye being so damaged, he couldn't even throw a spear anymore. After many arguments and tears being shed among his team, he stayed behind, and the rest of Team Faith continued their climb up the tower with a promise to see Zeke once again.